Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, this is me, your course instructor, Sidra Khalil, and the name of my subject you know very well, that is modern novel. So this is our second week lecture, and students, you have learned in previous lecture about what is novel, what is introduction to modern novel, and what are the characteristics of modern novel. So all these things we have done in detail in our previous lecture, and in today's lecture we are formally going to start towards our reading and analysis and the textual paraphrasing of the novels that are in our course outline. So let me start from today's lecture, that is about the novel Heart of Darkness, written by Joseph Conrad. So this is the very first novel according to our course outline. So first of all, let me tell you about introduction to Joseph Conrad. So Joseph Conrad, he was actually a Polish British writer, novelist, and his name you have seen over here, and he is also a short story writer, and he was very well renowned for his complex narratives and his exploration of moral ambiguity, often set against the backdrops of seafaring and colonial setting. So if I talk about Joseph Conrad and his experiences as a modern novelist, so he is having a lot of different settings. He is celebrated for his masterful prose and insightful portrayal of human nature, particularly the struggle between good and evil. This is the important thing that is associated with Joseph Conrad and his writings. And if I talk about the key aspects of his life and the works are there. So we will discuss all of these things in a sequence. First of all, let me start with his early life and influences. I told you earlier that he was born in Poland. And then under Russian rule, Conrad's early life was marked by political unrest and exile, which deeply influenced his writing. He became a sailor at the age of just 17, and he spent 2 decades in the merchant marine, experiences that provided him with rich material for his stories, and especially he was very famous for his stories, that his stories are based on the nautical setting. The current novel that we are going to discuss, that is Heart of Darkness, it is also related to his real life experiences. So now we are going to start about discussing his languages and literary style that has been adopted by him in his works. So Conrad did not learn English language fluently until his 20s. Yet he became a celebrated stylist, bringing a unique non-English sensibility to English literature. This is his remarkable contribution in English literature. His prose is known for its richness, complexity, and psychological depth. This is about his language and style. Now I want to tell about some of his major works. So some of his most famous works include Heart of Darkness, that we are going to study. There is a curiosity in your mind that students, that you are going to read his novel Heart of Darkness. Then another work is Lord Jim. Next is Nostromo and the Secret Agent. These are some of the important works that are written by Joseph Conrad. So we will discuss about his work, that is Heart of Darkness. So next I want to tell you about the themes and the major concerns about the Conrad's writings are. Actually, Conrad's writing often explores the theme of moral ambiguity, the corrupting influence of power dynamics are there, the psychological impact of isolation, and the darkness within the human nature, that is evil in the humans, evil in your inner self. He frequently critiques colonialism, exploring its devastating effects on both colonizers and colonized. So this is about all the interaction of the Joseph Conrad that we have discussed. I think so you understand it very well. So now we are moving towards the introduction of the novel Heart of Darkness. So what is Heart of Darkness? So there is some kind of a curiosity in your mind that what it will be. So you should explore the things regarding this, the title of the novel, that what does it mean. So actually I want to tell you about it is what? It is actually a novel, not just a novel, we say it novella. Novella is what? That is having a shorter number of words, or the pages are there. That there is a difference between the novel and novella is that the novel is a long narrative text is there, and novella is also like a novel, but it is having shorter in length. So Heart of Darkness is a novella. That is the Joseph Conrad's most famous work and a foundational text on the subject of colonialism. So colonialism, this is not a new term for you people, right? Colonialism is basically over here we are discussing about the Britishers' colonialism, Britishers' colonial impact, as you know very well about the colonial impacts on the Britishers on the subcontinent, as you know very well that about all the issues, the problems of the subcontinent that we faced. So this is about the subject of colonialism. The novel is but not about the subcontinent, it is about the African continent. Heart of Darkness is based in part on a trip that Conrad took through modern day Congo during his years as a sailor. He captained a ship that sailed down the Congo River. Conrad gave up the mission because an illness forced him to return to England, where he worked on his novella almost a decade later. So the presence of ill characters in the novella illustrates that the fact that Heart of Darkness is at least in part autobiographical. So there are a lot of similarities between the Conrad's novel Heart of Darkness and his real life. On the behalf of this, on the analysis of some of the traits that were present in his real life and we found in the novel Heart of Darkness in the form of the character that is the Marlowe. So this is basically an autobiographical novel. Many speculations have been made about the identity of various characters such as the manager or the Kurtz. Kurtz is another major character of the novel. So Heart of Darkness first appeared in the 3-part series in Blackwood magazine in 1899. It was published as a complete novella in 1904. It has since been referred to by many authors and the poets. Its most famous lines are both from the Kurtz. First of all, the novel is full of a lot of different lines that are very much famous, but the 2 lines are very much famous that we will do analysis in our later portion of the lecture. But I want to tell you about the short glimpse of this thing, that the important line about the Kurtz that he said that exterminate all the brutes. This is a very famous line of this novel, and the next line that has been also said by Kurtz's character, that is the Kurtz deathbed utterance is that the horror, the horror, the horror. So these are the 2 very important lines of the novel. This is a short introduction of the novel that I gave to you people, but before going to discuss the novel in detail, let me tell you about the characters. So character list is there. First of all, we will discuss about the main character, the protagonist of the novel, the narrator of the novel, that is the Marlowe. So the Marlowe is the main character, he is a protagonist and the main narrator of the story. He stumbles into Africa looking to sail a steamboat and finds much more. He possesses a strong interest in the past. He also has a good work ethics. He views working hard as a means of achieving sanity. In many respects, the worldview of Marlowe is that of a typical European. So there are a lot of different traits that are associated with the character of the Marlowe. Still, he is intended to be a versatile character, a man of extraordinary qualities, a versatility, and one of the few who does not belong to a distinct class. Next character is a Kurtz. I told you about him before and while discussing the 2 main lines, main quotes of the novel about the character of the Kurtz. He is in charge of the most productive ivory station in the Congo. Hailed universally for his genius and eloquent speaker, Kurtz becomes a focus of the Marlowe's journey into Africa. He is a unique victim of colonization. The wilderness captures him and he turns his back on the people and customs that were once a part of him. So if I talk about the novel, The Heart of Darkness, and I want to tell you about the 2 main characters that are the Marlowe and that is number 2 is the Kurtz. So basically the novel is directly associated with these 2 main characters. So the subject of colonialism is also associated, interlinked with them. So when we are exploring towards the novel, so we will come to know more about their personalities. So next character is a manager, Marlowe's direct supervisor. He is hard, greedy man who values power and money above all else. Yet he masks this crudeness behind a civilized demeanor. He seems to have an ability to outlive those around him. The manager would like nothing more than to surpass Kurtz in the ivory trade and since him dead, so that he would no longer interfere with the competitive trade. He makes people uneasy, and the only explanation Marlowe offers is that he is actually a nothing, just a hollow. So this is the remark about the Marlowe about him. Next character is the brickmaker. He is the so-called first agent who is a manager's pet and spy. He never actually makes bricks. Supposedly he is waiting for the delivery of an essential ingredient. So next character is about Russian. So we are discussing one by one about the characters of the novel. Next character is a Russian, Kurt's devoted companion. He is an idealistic explorer who has wandered to the Congo on a Dutch ship and has been caught in the web of Kurt's obsessive ivory hunt. So this is a major quality of the Kurt's is that Kurt's personality, that he is the biggest ivory collector in the whole Congo River. He is so young that it is uncertain whether or not he fully understands what he is doing in Africa. Next is the natives are there. They are actually having the, we can say they are having all the property of the Congo, the ivories, all the things they are actually having their own possession. But due to their power, due to the power of the Europeans, they are holding on them their rule, and this is the all about the, we can say, their uncivilization is there. There are a lot of things that are associated with them. So native, they are the collective presence throughout the story. They are never described as individuals. Next is the chief accountant. A top official in the main station, he befriends Marlowe when he first arrives in Africa. He is a cruel man, but ironically also the picture of the civilized European. So there is a contrast between the two personalities. The persons who are associated with the Europeans, they are believing that they are the civilized, and the persons who are associated with the native Africans, so they are thinking about them like they are uncivilized persons are there. So there is a conflict, there is a contrast between these two personalities. Next, the Marlowe's aunt. This is also very much important character. She is a connection to the company in which Marlowe receives a position. She appears to be the only female contact Marlowe has in his life, and she fully supports the vision of colonialism laid out in Rudyard Kipling's White Man's Burden. So if you got a time, you can read this novel written by Rudyard Kipling. Next is the Kurt's fiancée, an unnamed woman who's there, whose presence is also very important, but she is actually not a present, not a part, but we can say she is a very important part in the novel. So she appears in the last portion of the novel, and she appears in the last few pages of the novel. She is a symbol of a life. She is a symbol of life, we can say, that Kurtz leaves behind when he arrives in the Congo. She is pure. She lives in a dream world built around who she believes Kurtz is. She doesn't know about what is about the Kurtz and what he is actually doing in Congo. She is having a purity in herself. Next is the helmsman character. He is responsible for steering Marlowe's ship. He is not very experienced and seems unable to make informed decisions under pressure. Next, the pilgrims are there, the collective white presence in the story. They accompany Marlowe and the manager on the voyage to Kurt's station. Next is the narrator, an unnamed passenger aboard the Thames ship. He provides a structure for Marlowe's story and is a stand-in for audience perspective and participation. He was once a sailor, and he seemed affected by Kurt's tale due to his somewhat romantic nature. Next character is the cannibals. They are a specific section of the native presence. They are the grunt crew of the Marlowe's ship, and they are the only group of natives who ever voice any kind of statement or opinion to the whites. Marlowe is surprised at their tranquil manner, and he seems to respect them. There are a lot of characters. Other characters are there. Next is the director, the lawyer, the accountant. So all of these are the characters of the novel that you have to first make yourself familiar with these characters, and then you will easily understand about what is the main theme, what is the main idea of Joseph Conrad while writing this novel, Heart of Darkness. So let me tell you about just outline summary of Heart of Darkness. So as I told you earlier, Heart of Darkness is a novella about Charles Marlowe's journey. Who is Charles Marlowe? He is actually the Marlowe, and his full name is Charles Marlowe. It is about the journey of the Congo River to retrieve the ivory trader Kurtz and the moral decay he witnesses during his voyage. It explores theme of imperialism, racism, and the darkness within human nature. Here is a point summary of this novel. First of all, Marlowe's journey. The story is told as a framed narrative, with Marlowe recounting his experience to a group of men on a boat. He takes a job as a riverboat captain for a Belgian trading company in the Congo. Next, his exposure to imperialism. Marlowe encounters the brutal realities of colonialism, witnessing discussing the exploitation and mistreatment of the native Africans by the company. Next point is the quest for the Kurds. Marlowe's journey focuses on finding Kurds, an ivory trader renowned for his success but rumored to be ill and possibly insane or dead. Kurds descent. Kurds at the heart of Congo has become a powerful figure to the native people, building control through fear and intimidation. The horror, the most important dialogue of this novel. Kurds is critically ill when Marlowe finds him, and as he dies, Kurds utters a famous line, the horror, the horror, the horror. So next we found out the Marlowe's transformation. Marlowe is profoundly affected by his experience. He is realizing the capacity for darkness within himself and others, particularly in the face of unchecked power and greed. This is all about the short summary of this novel, and in our next lecture we will discuss all these points in detail. I hope so students, you all learnt it, you all understand it very well. So if you have any confusion, you can ask from me. So thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.